A stubborn young man ignored every warning, until one mistake turned his world upside down. The movie begins with Promise, who attempts to scam his mother out of 50,000 naira by claiming he needs it for a curriculum vitae school project. However, his mother immediately sees through the lie and insults his lack of intelligence before using a cane to flog him. While running away from his mother, Promise gets into a heated argument with his neighbor, Muna, after accidentally bumping into her, revealing his aggressive and restless nature. Later that day on the street, Promise meets up with his girlfriend, Rose, who is frustrated because he has no money to buy what she needs. He blames bank network issues, but she grows tired of his excuses and walks away. Later that night, Promise tries to sneak out of the house, but is caught red-handed stealing 5,000 naira from his mother's room. He claims that he only wanted to feel the money in his pocket, but his mother is furious. She threatens to shave his head as punishment if he continues to misbehave, then she flogs him. The following day, Muna, a concerned and religious neighbor, asks Promise if he is okay after hearing shouting from his house the previous night. Promise reacts defensively, telling her to mind her own business and stay out of his affairs. Some days later, Rose confronts Promise for avoiding her. She admits she was jealous after seeing him with another girl and asks him to prove his love by seeing her later that night. Promise agrees despite his mother's warnings. Later that night, Promise sneaks out of the house to meet Rose. Muna sees him and asks where he is going, but he tells her to mind her business and even encourages her to tell his mother. When he gets to Rose's room, they become intimate. The next morning, Promise's mother catches him sneaking back into the house like a rat. She tells him that she knows he did not sleep at home, but he tries to deny it. In a fit of anger, she cuts off his allowance for 2 months and warns him that if he gets any girl pregnant, he will face the consequences alone. That same day, Promise confronts Muna again in the compound, giving her a final warning to stop snitching about his movements to his mother. He even goes as far as mocking her dead parents. Later that day, Promise's friends excitedly tell him that he has become a social media sensation. They show him a viral video of him and Rose dancing suggestively, and they praise him for his moves. Later that day at home, the mood changes when Promise's mother discovers the viral video. She is deeply ashamed and accuses him of starting a career in online sexual content, mocking his behavior. Some days later, a remorseful Promise approaches Muna to apologize for his earlier harsh words. They sit down together to eat shawarma and have a heart-to-heart conversation about her lonely upbringing and her faith. Muna also invites him to attend her church fellowship. Later that night, Promise surprises his mother by asking for transport money to attend church with Muna. Encouraged by the possibility of him turning over a new leaf, she makes an exception and gives him the money. The next day, after the church service, Muna and Promise return home together. Later that day, they have fun playing card games together. A week later, Promise is seen by the poolside with another girl, acting affectionately. After some time, the girl leaves, and Promise joins his friends. One of his friends warns him that Rose is simply using him to boost her online content career and advises him to be careful not to get into more trouble. Later that day at home, Promise's mother gives him a serious lecture about the dreams she sacrificed in order to raise him. She warns him that ruining his future would be a mistake she may never forgive. After saying this, she stands up and leaves. However, Promise feels that his mother talks too much. Later that night, Rose shows up at Promise's house unannounced. Promise tries to push her away, claiming that he is trying to change. Rose tells him that she misses him and then proceeds to kiss him. However, they are interrupted by Muna. Promise desperately tries to explain that Rose is just a friend, but Muna does not see it that way. The following day, Muna begins teaching Promise the Bible. His mother returns home and is pleased to see them studying together, hoping that Muna's influence will truly change her son. A month later, Promise's mother calls Muna to inform her that Promise has fallen ill with malaria. She begs Muna to take care of him, and Muna agrees. While his mother is at work, Muna stays by his side, feeding him and making sure he takes his medicine. During this time, they get carried away by their emotions and share a romantic moment. Later that day, Promise's mother is surprised to see him looking healthy and strong again. Promise tells her that he is feeling much better and that he is glad Muna came to help. Meanwhile, Muna sits alone in her room, feeling guilty about what happened between her and Promise. Some days later, after Promise recovers, Muna is on her way out when she sees him and quickly tries to avoid him. Promise notices and tells her that he has realized she has been avoiding him. Muna reminds him that they shared a sinful, intimate encounter weeks earlier, something she considers sacred. However, Promise tries to dismiss it as a mistake from the past. 2 weeks later, Muna drops a bombshell by telling Promise that she has missed her period. While Promise tries to laugh it off as impossible after just one time, Muna insists that she might be pregnant. Some days later, Muna uses a pregnancy test at home to confirm her fears. The result shows that she is pregnant, and tears begin to roll down her cheeks almost immediately. However, Promise's mother notices Muna acting strangely and moving around the compound nervously. Although she suspects something is wrong, she remains unaware of the secret pregnancy that is about to shatter their lives. Muna simply asks her to remind Promise about their fellowship meeting later that day, and his mother agrees to pass along the message. Later that day, Muna shows Promise the pregnancy test result. He is left confused, shocked, and speechless. The next day, Promise suggests that Muna should get an abortion because they are not ready to become parents and have no money to care for a child. However, Muna firmly refuses, insisting that killing her child goes completely against her faith. Later that day at home, a trembling Promise confesses to his mother that he has gotten a girl pregnant. When he reveals that the girl is their neighbor, Muna, his mother is stunned that their Bible study sessions have led to this situation. Promise's mother then recounts her own tragic past, revealing that she was once in the same position. She explains that when she was 19 years old, her father threw her out of the house for refusing to follow his instructions. She tells Promise that since he has chosen to become a man, he must now leave her house and provide for himself, Muna, and their unborn child. A few hours later, Promise begs his mother not to chase him out, but she remains firm. She insists that he must experience the consequences of his actions, just as she did years ago. Afterward, Promise goes to stay with Muna. She suggests that he should continue pleading with his mother, but Promise tells her that once his mother makes up her mind about something, she never goes back on her word. The following day, Promise discusses their difficult situation with Muna. With no money and nowhere to live, he realizes that he must find any job possible to provide for her and the baby. The next day, while heading out, Promise greets his mother, but she ignores him and drives away. Later that day, Promise finds a notice advertising a job opening. He immediately calls the contact person, who tells him to come to the address right away. When Promise arrives at the address, he is informed that the job was taken just 3 minutes earlier. Devastated, he leaves still unemployed. That night, Promise is unable to sleep because he cannot find a job to support Muna and their unborn child. Some days later, Promise begins earning money by helping people carry their goods. Later that day, he returns home to Muna with food and baby supplies. He admits that he sold some of the expensive items his mother had bought for him in order to afford the necessities. He promises Muna that he will never abandon her. The next day, Promise also begins working at a construction site. Later that night, Muna suddenly collapses in severe pain. A panicked Promise rushes to his mother's house, banging on the door and begging for help to take Muna to the hospital. However, she does not answer him, so Promise takes Muna to the hospital by himself. The following day at the hospital, the doctor informs Promise that Muna nearly lost the baby due to extreme stress and malnutrition. He explains that she needs proper nutrition, vitamins, and adequate care if she is to carry the pregnancy safely. Later that day, back at home, Promise stays by Muna's bedside while feeding her. He apologizes for all the hardship she has endured and promises that he will always stand by her side. Some days later, Muna goes into labor. In a state of desperation, Promise rushes back to his mother's house and begs her for money to pay for the medical operation needed to save both Muna and the baby. Moved by her son's genuine concern and remarkable transformation, his mother gives him some cash. She also agrees to go to the bank and provide the funds needed to cover the hospital bills. Promise thanks her and immediately rushes to the hospital. Later that evening, the doctor announces that both mother and child are safe. That same evening, Promise visits his mother to tell her that Muna and the baby are doing well. He also thanks her for helping with the hospital expenses. His mother then tells him that she has cleaned his room so that he and Muna can move back into her house. She admits that seeing how much Promise cared for Muna and the baby changed her perspective. She promises to help them succeed so they will not have to suffer the way she did. Promise and his mother share a touching moment of relief and joy over the arrival of the newborn child. Some days later, Promise's mother is happily singing to her granddaughter, while Promise and Muna watch with smiles on their faces. A week later, an unexpected visitor arrives, the mother's long-estranged father. She confronts him with years of pain and resentment, reminding him how he cast her out like rubbish and stood by while her husband died when he could have helped. Deeply hurt, she tells her father to leave. However, he begs for forgiveness, admitting that he now lives with loneliness and deep regret over the mistakes he made in the past. Although she is initially reluctant, Promise urges her to forgive him for the sake of peace. Some days later, Promise's mother and her father spend time catching up on old memories and discussing old friends, including one who reportedly moved to Canada after getting married. The next day, Promise and Muna reflect on their journey, from an unexpected mistake to a shared dream and a growing family. They commit themselves to a life of honesty, responsibility, and love, finally finding peace together as a family. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more captivating movies from us. Until we meet again, goodbye.